Hello, Chameleon Academy. This is your host, Bill Strand, and I am here for day 4 of the 12 days of Chameleon gift giving. Today, I have for you the log lunch. This is an exquisite feeder cup for chameleons that you can put feeders in there and then they crawl up the back. And this is an incredible addition to your chameleon cage or the chameleon cage of your loved one. Now, this episode is special because I've actually got the person who handcrafted this. Jim Rykbost from Sunset Chameleons is going to come on and is going to give us a personal tour of this product. Hello, Chameleon Wranglers. Today, our special gift is a log lunch, and I am honored to have the artist behind these on the phone with me. On the phone. on the camera with me. This is Jim Rykbost. Hello, Jim.
Hey, Bill. How's it going?
Very well, and I am excited because I got your box in the mail. I ordered some of these, and I knew I was going to get him on to help give you a tour of what these are. And so I'm going to open these up. And then, Jim, I'm going to have you talk about these feeders. So what we've got is a feeder run cup. Essentially, it's got a screen at the bottom. And so you put the crickets in and they crawl up and attract the chameleon's attention. Jim, this is incredible. This is a work of art. How do you make these?
That was created with a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. But to do the actual carving, I use so many tools. I use an angle grinder to do the carving. That's what puts all the grooves in it. I use a rotary zip saw to cut the face of it. Each feeder gets hand sanded, hand washed twice. They get painted, 3 different layers of paint. Depending on the feeder, some of the feeders actually have up to 5 layers of paint, depending on what you order. But they have a screen on the inside. The plastic screen is what the insects crawl on. And one tip that I want to show you real quick, if you have, say you have dubias or you have a worm that's hanging out in the bottom and they won't climb up on the screen, if you take a piece of sweet potato and take a paper clip, just bend the paper clip straight on one end, stick it through the sweet potato, and then slide that paper clip into the top of this screen right here. The chameleons, they'll see the bugs in there because they'll climb to get to the sweet potato and then they're there to eat. So that's a great trick. Now, for cleaning, I designed these for the bottoms to be removable. So this is a removable screen cap. And as you can see,
very cool.
You'll have full access to the feeder and you can clean it. You can clean this. You can leave the feeder attached, take this off, clean it, and then just stick it back in. It's as simple as that. Now, for attachment, I looked at a lot of different things. There's companies that use magnets. There's an issue with magnets for me. Well, 2 issues. One is unless you have a really strong one, they have a tendency to slide down. If a chameleon were to climb on it, it can slide down, and I didn't want that. I wanted it to be stable to where if a chameleon climbs on it, it stays right there and doesn't move. So I came up with these pins. It's a dual pin. It goes through the front. When they first come out, they're about this long, and I clip them back, and I put these backings on them. When I first started, I was using rubber backings, and the rubber backings they had a tendency to come off, and I didn't know that until a couple of customers messaged me, and as soon as they told me that one came off, that day I took every one of those rubber backings and put them in storage and ordered these, and I didn't sell one other feeder until I had these. So I got these. These are locking to where if you pull on the front of them, well, I don't have that one on all the way, but if you pull on the front of them, they don't move. If you pull on this back piece, they pop right off. So you take these, when you get this, you take these off and you stick this through the screen of your enclosure. And I normally recommend it to be 7 or 8 inches from the top of the enclosure because they will want to climb on top of this thing. They'll eat from the top and they'll eat from the front.
Mm-hmm.
Well, once you stick this through the enclosure, you literally just stick these back on, and it's there. It's locked in place on the screen. I do have solutions. There's always a solution for any enclosure. If you have a PVC closed enclosure, these can be mounted to branches or they can be mounted to a vine. There's always a way. If you give me an enclosure, I can figure out a way to put this in it.
For a PVC enclosure, could you just drill 4 small holes?
Honestly, if it was PVC, what I would do, and I've actually sold to a lot of people that have your ledges, which I love, because the ledge gives them something to mount to. So normally for the ledge, they take out this brad right here. If you take that top brad out, that's what holds this screen in place onto the feeder itself. But there's other things holding it, so it's not going to come off. But you could put a screw right through that hole and mount it directly to the PVC.
Okay.
Using the hole that's already there.
Now,
which prevents,
let's see.
That way you're not going to have to drill the feeder itself. It's already got a hole in it, so you're not going to mess it up.
I have another one here. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one. This one's got a different color. It's got the black, and yeah, these are unique. They're different. So each one is unique.
Every single feeder is unique. I don't use any kind of a jig when it comes to the holes or the top. I do all of it freehand with an angle grinder.
Wow.
So literally, there's no 2 feeders that are the same. And even if 2 feeders were cut the same, they're still going to be painted differently because they're each hand painted. I paint these. They start with a base coat and then they get other colors layered in. But so there's several different coats of paint on there, and no 2 of these are going to look the same. As you can see, this one, I did a little something different at the top. This one has a curve top to it where it kind of does like that. And that just happened to be the mood I was in. This one has curves.
So what are all the choices that customers have?
Right now, I have 4 different colors. I've got walnut, birch, charcoal, and lava.
Okay.
Lava's red and black. Charcoal is a gray and black. It kind of looks bluish gray, which is a neat look. The birch looks like the white birch trees that I actually grew up with in Canada. We had white birch up there in Canada that looked really similar, with big inspiration for me for those. And I've tried different colors that some of them I've actually removed from my lineup. I had redwood.
Okay.
And for some reason, it wasn't selling as much as the others, so I pulled it off the lineup. So right now we have 4 different colors and we have 4 different sizes because you can choose a standard 11.5-inch size height, and you can choose either a 3-inch or a 4-inch diameter. So when you add all those up, that's 4 different sizes. There's 2 different 4-inch, either an 8.5-inch tall or an 11.5-inch tall. And then there are the same thing with the 3-inch. So I try to make them for different size enclosures and also different species. I believe that the smaller species like the carpet chameleons and some of the others like those would do better since they're in a smaller enclosure with a smaller feeder. So I would recommend a 3-inch for a smaller species like that. But usually most people that are my customers order for veiled or panthers, and usually they get a 4-inch diameter feeder. That's usually what I recommend. Because the chameleons like to climb in them and climb on them, it's easier with a 4-inch than a 3-inch.
Now, you also have a feeder for special needs chameleons, correct?
Yes, that's right. I did design one feeder that it's a small feeder. They're 6 inches tall, and it's used basically like a cup. But if you have a chameleon that cannot use their tongue for whatever reason, this is a great way to get them to feed. It holds dubias, superworms. The special needs feeder isn't designed for crickets, so I wouldn't stick a cricket in it. They're going to jump right out. But any of the other insects that aren't jumpers, they do great in the special needs feeder.
if somebody has decided that this is the perfect gift for the chameleon person in their life, or maybe they are that chameleon person, how would they go about ordering one of these?
They can go to my website at www.sunsetchameleons.com and order through there. Now, there is one issue that I'm glad I thought about it. I wanted to bring up, and that's with international orders. Mm-hmm. I get a lot of international orders, but my website is not set up for international. I'm not smart enough to figure that out yet, so I'm still working on that. Don't give up on it. But in the meantime, the only way that I can take international orders is through Messenger, through Facebook Messenger.
Facebook Messenger. Okay. They contact you.
Yes.
Can they contact you via email?
They can. Yes, they can. They can email me at sunsetchameleons@yahoo.com.
Okay.
That's an email that they can reach out to me, or just message me directly, Sunset Chameleons on Facebook.com. That's where I normally do a lot of my communicating with customers.
Okay. And once they order, what is the lead time for this to ship out?
I pride myself in customer service, and if I have the feeder in stock and it's on the shelf, I've literally had, like last night, somebody ordered, and within 15 minutes, they had an email from me with pictures of a feeder to choose from. So
Excellent.
I try to have, the next day or the day after that turnaround time for shipping.
And what do you mean feeders to choose from? Are you giving them options?
They actually pick out their specific individual feeder. Since each feeder looks different, that's one thing I did when I first started the company is I made sure that I don't want somebody to get a feeder that I think looks cool, that they might look at it and be like, I didn't like this or I don't like that. So I made it up, in my mind from the get-go that I was going to give each person the choice to choose their own specific feeder.
Okay, that is very cool. That is very cool. So,
Thank you.
All right, Jim, these are incredible. I am excited to go try them into my chameleon cages. And I really want to appreciate you coming on and sharing a little bit of the behind the scenes look. And I would like, and I'll circle around about after the holidays and check up on you and see how things are going.
That'd be awesome. I'd love to hear from you.
All right. We'll see you, Jim.
All right. Thank you, Bill.
All right, guys, I've used the log lunch in my cages and they work great and they look great. If you're interested in getting this, then go to sunsetchameleons.com. And if you order, just be ready for him to give you a call and say, which one do you want? Because he actually gives you a choice because each one is unique. So this is a nice special gift for Christmas. And it is my day 4 recommendation for a chameleon gift giving idea. This is Bill Strand signing off, but I will see you tomorrow for day 5 of the 12 days of chameleon gift giving.